and boom goes the dynamite.
Welcome in to the only live lacrosse talk show that airs Monday through Friday. This is Daily Dive. I am your host, Michael Karvelis. Good morning to everyone on the West Coast and in between, and to the East Coast, good afternoon. Let's get ready for lunch and, of course, some lacrosse talk. On today's episode of Daily Dive, it was Tuesday edition, our top story is Buffalo Bennett just got a really big player back, and it comes just in the nick of time. How good is Chase Fraser? We'll let you know. Also, Fanatics segments will be Week 19 attendances, and I'll unveil if the Georgia Swarm really have been loading up that stadium like they said they have. Our last brew, presented by B-Riz Coffee Company, code Daily Dive at checkout, will be our top 5 NLL teams and players. As you know, I made the declaration yesterday that Connor Fields is the best player in the NLL. I'll try to back that up with some stats today. It's time for our top story, presented by a Daily Dive store. Get the best merchandise with this logo on it by going to Daily Dive Lax on our social media pages, clicking the link tree, and going to the Our Store tab. When you go there, you can find great things like stuff with this logo on it. It's the best way to support the show as we help grow the game, and we thank you so much for that. Our top story is Chase Fraser is back for the Buffalo Bandits, and you're like, what? Like, have you forgotten who Chase Fraser is? Who is Chase Fraser? Chase Fraser, who was injured, he played in one game this season and actually scored 2 goals against the Mammoths. So the guy's a walking goal, is a walking, point. And last season, he had 32 goals and 24 assists. It is interesting how quickly, the timing of this, should I say, because one thing I've been griping about with the NLL is that they do a dumber version of what the NBA does. Like, the NBA will say, well, this guy's day to day. And you're like, well, what does that mean? Like, is this 1 or 2 days, or is this 6 or 7 days? That could be a week. What the NLL does with their injury reporting is 10 times worse. They, do not tell you at all what the injury is. So if the guy breaks his leg, you have no idea if he broke his leg or not. I'm just saying. The second thing, which I think is the most damning aspect of it all, is they don't give you a lick of a timetable, which allows teams to do stuff like this. Now, I know what you're saying. Michael, it's Chase Fraser. He's back in Buffalo. What is the problem? The problem is the bigger issue here. As great as it is for the Buffalo Bandits that Chase Fraser is back, how long has he been able to be back? I'm not questioning his integrity. I'm questioning the team's integrity. It's not a knock on anybody, but you have to question these things if you want this game to grow. Because it's kind of like magical and just coincidental. This man played 1 game in March, scored 2 goals, and has not played anything else all season. I know this league has a bunch of guys that work Monday through Friday jobs. We call those the 9-to-5 jobs. I understand that. But he couldn't show up for any other game besides the game against Colorado. I just find it very peculiar that the NLL allows teams to do this stuff. It is awesome that Chase Fraser's back. It is good for the game. What's not good for the game is how he coincidentally comes back a month after he already played a game. So how is he still on the injured reserve list? And if he re-aggravated something, we still don't know that because they don't tell us. So it allows guys to basically sit out the entire season, and they could have just sprained their ankle. I'm sorry, that doesn't do it for me. Because now a Bandits team that we thought was really good and obviously has a potential to win it all, we don't know how good this Bandits team actually is. We don't know if he's been coming and practicing with the team. I don't know if he's going to games, obviously, or that might have leaked already, but it just blows my mind that we're just going to allow Chase Fraser to just pop in. Like, what's up, guys? Oh, good. Where you been? Did you just play last month? Yeah, he did. I don't know the injury. I'm sorry, that's on them. And again, it's not like it's me nitpicking, but things like this matter because it's an unfair competitive advantage, in my opinion. This guy's been wrestling in the back to tank all year, and you unleash him. Wow. Doesn't make any sense to me. Curtis Dixon reached 500 goals, which is insane because I had him on our 3 stars of the weekend, and I totally missed that part of it. So my apologies. But yeah, Curtis Dixon reached 500 goals. I believe he's the 7th player to do so in league history. 8th, I forgot what the number was. But he's 34 years old, and this is now his 7th straight season, by the way, with 80-plus points. And that doesn't include the 10 games in 2020. Remember, he won a championship in 2019 with the Roughnecks, lost in 2014. This guy, if the Seals win it, could be a 2-time champion. But I think 500 goals is obviously the story here with the milestone. But hey, if we want to talk about, I'm trying to, on the Daily Dive, I'm trying to do more of this grow legacy talk. Like in the NBA and the NFL, so much talk is about the GOAT. And yeah, the GOAT right now is probably John Tavares. But come on now. We have more things to look at here. Curtis Dixon playing very well. Although he's on a super team, but whatever. The question is, does he make my top 5 players list? Do any of the Seals make it? That's the story for the last segment, their last brew. And also, Mackenzie Mitchell has been placed on season-ending injured reserve list by the Riptide. He had 6 games this season with 14 loose balls. I'd shut it down too if my team was that bad. Just saying. I'm kidding. Get well soon, Mackenzie Mitchell. All right, when I come back, week 19 attendances and my damning reports of how many people were actually at the Georgia Swarm game. And what did they report? We'll unveil that next. It's Daily Dive. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Daily Dive here on this wonderful Tuesday. How's the weather in your area? Because after a brutal weekend of rain and coldness, it's nice. It's breezy here in the Savannah, Georgia area. Let me know what you guys' weather is like. Let me know in the comments, live chat, whatever you want to do. Also, I want to share this photo. I feel like it's pretty iconic. If I do say so, what? Look at this. Hey, so let me try to zoom in on this a little bit more, actually. So this right here is after the game was over, as the Georgia Swarm, of course, beat the Rush on Saturday night. I was there and I was sitting in the front row. There's actually a few pictures of me. You can catch me a few times on the ESPN Plus broadcast. So in the post-game interview for Lyle Thompson, I actually did not know that this was being filmed on ESPN Plus because it didn't occur to me for some stupid reason. I would have waved to the camera or something like that. But I was told by the in-arena host, Charlie, to come down and just, walk on the field. The field is very tough to walk on. I did not realize that turf was really weird. It felt like, I was like, I could not even run on this to save my life. But no. Well, I saw Lyle Thompson being interviewed. I just didn't know what for. Because, again, it didn't dawn on me. So there you see the Swarm mascot trying to make a meme of it all. He was great, by the way. There's me standing there looking around like an oblivious fool. There's Lyle Thompson. Wow. I see some legends right there, for lack of a better term. I just want you guys to soak this in. You can also be found on Daily Dive socials. But hey, I'm not mad at this image. I have another one that should piss off some Rush fans later on. If you watch the broadcast, you already know. If you did, I'm so sorry for that. Okay, let's get to those Week 19 attendances. This is presented by Fanatics. Go to Daily Dive Lax on our social media pages. Click the link tree and shop all the NLL gear at Fanatics. When you go there, it supports the show if you check out using our link. Thank you so much for that. We need money for the poor, please. No. Get geared up with NLL and remember to go through our link tree to do so. Okay. Our next segment is Week 19 attendances, and here they are. Calgary with 11,404 people. Colorado, 10,419. Georgia Swarm with 9,332. Las Vegas up to 5,540 on Blue Man Group night. And Rochester Nighthouse with 4,628. One of those things, when I said that, I could have sworn my nose grew like 3 to 4 feet, okay? I was there in Georgia. I have questioned it all season. I said, how in the world is this team getting 9,000 people? It's not like the number's staying the same. It's growing. It's like eases up from like 9,100, 9,200, 9,250, 9,332. Like, come on, man. It was raining. And I'll be honest, I was talking to someone. I will not say who it was. They told me, yeah, we may not have as much people tonight because of the rain. And I agree. There wasn't, the stadium, it was loud. Obviously there was people there. There was at least 3,000 people there. But 9,000? That's an utter lie. I'm telling you firsthand, it's a lie. And I don't like doing this, but it has to be said. Why do these teams do this? Like, they're not profiting, so what does it accomplish? Like, the league that you're telling this to literally knows that you're not making the money that you said you are. So what is this doing for you? We are the first show to just start providing these numbers like this over and over and over again, weekly, on a week-by-week basis, and that's the only time it gets exposure. So what is the point of this? Who are these mysterious ticket people? I feel like it's like the elections. Remember they said they were rigged with all these like ghost voters? Well, can someone tell me? Can someone tell me who died and bought a ticket for the Georgia Swarm game? Because this is bad. There was not 9,000 people there. There wasn't. It was kind of full, but it wasn't 9,000 people full. I'll put it this way. I have been in a stadium. I'll tell you what it is. The Colonial Life Arena in Columbia, South Carolina. I've been there for a religious event before, and there would be like, 3,000 people at the most. I think at the Swarm game, there might have been 5,000 at the most. Like, not even 7. It might have been 5,000 people, a little bit more than that. Saying you had 9,332 people, I can confirm, I am 99.9% sure that is an utter lie. Because you notice, every single time these teams listed out, certain teams that are getting over 10,000, the number varies. It goes from like 10,000 to 12,000 to 11,000 to 14,000. Those you can tell are not lying. When this number is staying in the same group of 50, that's just a complete lie. And again, I ask you, why? What does this accomplish? Because I cannot tell you. Again, the league you're reporting it to try to put on some Mirage already knows the money that you're not making. 9,000. I am ashamed that I went to that game and I talked to somebody who literally told me it probably wouldn't be that much. Come on, man. I just don't get the point. I don't get it. I think people need to, if the game wants to grow, there must be transparency, okay? And that's a teaser of the other picture, by the way. I'm sorry. Also, Las Vegas getting 5,540. I can believe that because they had the freaking Blue Man Group there. Duh. Like, that matters. But if someone said on Twitter, show me a camera angle where the Georgia Swarm had 9,000 people there. I went to the game, there wasn't 9,000 people there. You did not convince me otherwise. It was a good amount of people, and I was happy about that. But I'm not, if I could count it, I promise you it would not touch the 7,000 mark. I don't respect that. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what, is it wrong to say that? Because there was not 9,000 people there. I'm sorry, Georgia. But there's the other attendances. Good job for Colorado still stacking the stadium up. I know those fans love that team. Calgary, ugly stadium, but they have good fans. But yeah, Georgia Swarm, that's not it. I'm sorry. I saw probably more Braves fans than other jerseys than I saw Lyle Thompson jerseys. And to be fair, if the narrative is, oh, they have Jeremy and Lyle Thompson playing, I saw a lot of other Swarm jerseys than just those, okay? So it's not just, oh, that's the big draw, because that ain't true, because there wasn't 9,000 people there, and I saw other jerseys as well from other sports. Don't try to convince me. That's just not true. All right. Last brew coming up, and if I haven't ticked off the lacrosse community enough today, we're going to tell you our top 5 teams and top 5 players. And yes, Connor Fields will be number 1. But who's behind him? Daily Dive continues next. Daily Dive is back, and boy, if I don't have any shame, let me know now. It's our last brew presented by B-Rez Coffee Company. BREZ Coffee Company, code Daily Dive at checkout. Our top 5 teams and players. You know who's not in the top 5 team list? It's the Saskatchewan Rush. I don't know why I just did that. So the Saskatchewan Rush, of course. This is, I wish there wasn't a Swarm player standing there, but this is me on the ESPN broadcast waving goodbye to the playoff hopes. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to these kids right here. These guys were awesome. They really brought the energy in the second half to that area of the field. Yep, there's me. If you watch it on the broadcast, that is actually pretty funny. And I'm not just tooting my own horn there. That is literally funny if you recognize what I'm doing at that point. Watch the final 2 minutes of that game, and you will see me proudly doing this to Alex Bouquet and company. I'm sorry. I'm not going to make it in this business. I got canceled on Twitter yesterday. Oh, who cares? Okay, top 5 NLL teams. If you know, you know, by the way. Number 5 are the hometown Georgia Swarm. The Georgia Swarm, they have this interesting style They're smaller than other people. And as someone told me at that game, it's interesting how much smaller they are than other teams. And it was my first time seeing them. I was like, yeah, Shane Jackson's kind of short. Lyle Thompson is not the tallest guy in the world. The Rush were huge. And Swarm didn't matter. It was beautiful offense. Number 4. Oh, and also Brad Dobson is amazing. Number 4, the Toronto Rock. To be fair, teams 1 through 4 are kind of interchangeable on a given week. But I think push comes to shove, I think Rock are the 4th best team. I keep telling you guys, Tom Schreiber's shooting percentage is a lot to be desired. It's under 20%. I mean, when you chuck the ball a lot, I would expect you to hit more than 20% of your shots. I'm sorry. The shots on goal doesn't do it for me. I told you guys about a stat. That stat is really stupid. Only had 2 goals and 3 assists and 17 shots on goal. That is terrible. Don't tell people that. I don't know what that is. Come on, man. Oh, whatever. Number 3, the Calgary Roughnecks. I still think that game against the Seals was a jet lag experience, and I feel like Calgary, if they had home field advantage, they would probably beat the Seals. I don't think Seals are that much better than Calgary, but obviously you have Calgary at number 3. Number 2, you knew that the 2 of the top 2 teams are. So number 1 are the Seals, number 2 are the Bandits. Now, why are the Seals number 1? Ooh. Because the Rock were beat so bad because the Rock beat down the Bandits so bad. That's the tiebreaker right now for me. Is the Bandits looked absolutely lost and confused and outmatched against the Toronto Rock. Okay? So I just want to make that clear. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the Lions the Falcons are acquiring Jeff Okudah from the Lions. Okay, there you go. That's NFL news. That's why I'm like, what in the world is NFL trade? Okay, anyways. But yeah, no. The Buffalo Bandits were beat down and their pants were pulled down. They were spanked to smithereens, were ashamed in front of their families as the Toronto Rock destroyed them. Seals, I don't believe I've had a performance like that all season long. The Seals have been inconsistent, yes. But as we've seen, as Cooper Perkins told us about the backload schedule, that matters. And they've been way better. Number 1, San Diego. Number 2, Buffalo. Number 3, Calgary. Number 4, Toronto. Number 5, Georgia, with those 9,000 fans every single week. Give me a break. And here's the attendances for good measure as I tell you the top 5 players to possibly distract you from what I'm about to say. The top 5 players in the NLL will go 1 to 5. I already told you Connor Fields is number 1. How about a stat that I found that proves my point about Connor Fields? Because no one else on this list besides the number 5 guy has more loose balls. Number 1, Connor Fields, 48 goals, 55 assists. So he's got 103 points, right? Then 121 loose balls. That matters. While your guy is running off on like the field, I'm Jeff Teat, because he's soft. I'm telling you, I'm nitpicking these players when I make these criticisms, okay? It's not just me hating on Jeff Teat for being soft. I'm saying if I had to complain, that would be my issue. Is I don't think he's as physical. To be fair, he's a kid. I'm 26, but I'm pretty sure he's younger than me. But number 2 is Jeff Teat. So there you go. So don't throw flames at me yet. Jeff Teat has 115 points, leads the NLL with 66 assists and 49 goals. And I'm sorry, but Ryland Hartley, as good as he started, has not been good enough. So don't tell me that, Connor Fields has Ryland Hartley, because to be fair, Ryland Hartley's been terrible the last half of the season. I'm just going to say it now. I love Ryland Hartley, the split save man himself. He's been god-awful. Okay? I think Connor Fields and Jeff Teat are both up against it in terms of not many teammates. I mean, I know Holden Catoni, sure, friend of the show, but I think there's a big enough. I think Connor Fields 121 loose balls proves my point. But Jeff Teat's number 2. Number 3, the guy who plays on a super team, and the reason he's this high is because he's a two-time league MVP and because he played well without Josh Byrne. But this guy does have the luxury of playing with Matt Vince. Again, I'm nitpicking here. And he also only has 29 goals. And to me, I kind of want my best player in the league to score a little bit more. But Dane Smith is, of course, number 3. Number 4, the man who I criticize heavily for having a bunch of turnovers to start the season is a man who has cleaned up and scored 4 goals and 4 assists in front of my fine blue eyes, Lyle Thompson. Lyle Thompson has played really well. I do think Brett Dobson, the rookie goaltender, has been a big reason for that. But Lyle Thompson's number 4 for me. Number 5, and every week, number 5 will be a combination of the best goalie and the best face-off man or whatever. Number 5 for me is Matt Vince combined with Jake Withers. And because I know people don't like goalies, and I know that, you can't really throw Jake Withers on the top 5 list, so I'm going to go with Matt Vince at number 5 as the best goalie, and Jake Withers, who is a monster face-off man. I'll tell you what, it helped the Swarm offense watching it live in person. It helped the Swarm when Jeremy Thompson was scooping up the face-offs every like 4 to 5 possessions every single play. Okay, that matters. When you give your team the extra opportunities, that matters. Okay. So, number 1, Connor Fields. Number 2, Jeff Teets. Number 3, Dane Smith. Number 4, Lyle Thompson. Number 5, Matt Vince and Jake Withers. Who is your top 5 players? And everyone's going to say Jeff Teets because that's what they've been told. But watch the games. Look at them objectively. I think if you have to nitpick the top players, I think Connor Fields is objectively the best player in the NLL. Just saying. Connor Fields doesn't have 1 pieces. Did I say that loud? Oh, well. There's your week 19 sentences rolling down one last time. Thanks so much for watching. It's been a fun episode of Daily Dive. A little bit of hot takes here. But let me make it very clear. My hot takes are not just to, actually, they're not at all. They're not to just say, oh, let's fire up some folks. I genuinely believe this stuff. You give me 121 loose balls, give me 100 points, you're the best player in the league. Okay? I'm sorry. Why is it taboo to say? And I'll do what I did for the what are they called? The Saskatchewan Rush. This is how I'll end the show. The way I say goodbye to the Saskatchewan Rush. See you guys tomorrow. It's been fun with the Daily Dive. Yeah. Bye.